In the inner city, he said, I want to put you in the right group and I want to move you out. So I moved to Atlanta at this time. I'm around 15, 16 years old. And I got on the first record with Tupac, and for the dunya, for that lifestyle, it was successful. So after that, Tupac got incarcerated. When he got locked up, he came home and he said, I'm signing a record deal with a rap record, with a label called Death Row Records. And this is the time of my life that I could say things started changing and started moving a little fast. When he came out from prison, we moved to Los Angeles. I'm 16 years old. You know, this time you really don't have no father figures, no big brothers, and nobody around because everybody lost the same way we is, and nobody to put us on track. Tupac, like I said, he tried the best of his ability to try to keep us under control. But when we got to Death Row Records, things changed because at this time, this part of the game, Death Row Records was the biggest rap record in the music industry. And at this time of the game, man, I started seeing money started flowing in, cars started coming in. Tupac started putting more records out and started getting successful. We started doing so many shows. And things like that, and living a fast life that I really thought it would never end. I thought it would never end. We was feeling like we was on top of the world. Every time we turned the radio on, we hear our voices on the radio. Every time we turned the television on, we heard Tupac's voice seeing his face on the television. He was selling records. He put another album out. Like I said, he was successful for that part of the dunya that sold millions. And I remember that life was going so fast. And some of the people that might have heard Tupac, if they listened to music in the past, they might have heard that Tupac, he used to always talk about death. He used to always talk about death in his music. And I remember one day, I was with Tupac, he just purchased a house on the beach. And I remember he said, he was telling me in the outlook, he said, I remember, you notice in my raps, I always talk about death, and I really, truly always wanted to die. He said, but now that I'm having this, I got this house and I'm getting cars and I got money, he said, I don't want to die anymore. He said, I really want to live. And a couple months later, it could have been even weeks later after that, that's when Tupac got assassinated in Las Vegas. So when that happened to him, I flashed back on it, and I remember him, this thing, like he was on the top of the world. He was doing everything. He had money. He had cars. He just bought a brand new house. And I remember the words came out of his mouth that he said he don't want to die. From every rap record he came out, he kept saying he wanted to die. I can't wait to die. Death was around the corner, stuff like that. And he said he don't want to die. And a couple months later, he got shot and he got shot up in Las Vegas. And he died. So as a youngster, I started thinking. I said, here we go, this guy, he seemed like he was in control of his destination. He had money, he had cars, he put records out, he making money, doing everything. And now he said he don't want to die. And a couple months later, death came to him suddenly, when he was least suspected. When he was out in Las Vegas, he didn't know what was going to happen, he was least suspected. I started thinking, man, and one of the things that I started thinking, I said, I need to try to get something together because this is going to happen to me one day. The life that I'm living, this is going to happen to me and everybody around me that I grew up with, friends. I think friends get murdered, it wasn't just my parents. You know, friends get locked up and murdered and things like that at an early age. A couple months before Tupac got killed, my grandmother in the grave died. 2 months after Tupac, he died in September, November. Tupac, the guy that introduced me to Tupac, a childhood friend of mine, Gaddafi, he got murdered by my little cousin. Then a couple months after that, I had a brother, he committed suicide. So death after death, I started thinking and said, you know what, man, this is what's going to happen to me. I never grew up, I never had a religion because I couldn't follow the people that killed my parents. They was from a group called the Nation of Islam. So me growing up, I had this taste in my mouth about Muslims. I said I could never be a Muslim, the Muslims killed my parents. It wasn't until I got certain knowledge of the Nation of Islam to find out that they wasn't Muslims and the belief that they believe in is totally contradiction to the Islamic faith. So, and I never really held on to the Christian religion. Like I said, I never held on to the Christian religion, but this time of my life, I started getting worried about death. I said, what if this happened to me? Where do I go after this? I started really thinking. I always had to believe, even though I didn't have no religion, I always believed in a higher power, and I always believed I had a belief in me that I don't think when you drop dead, that we just going to go into a grave and we're going to fall asleep and life is over. This is it. I always believed that. I always had that in me that I don't think you can just do anything you want on the street, do anything you want to do to people, live your life the way you want to live, and when you drop dead, that's it. So I started getting nervous and I started praying, and I remember I said, it's God. Whatever you are, whatever your true religion, please God me to your true religion. And one day, I happened to be in a recording studio, and I happened to get in a fist fight with my little brother, and the guy that broke the fist fight up, it happened to be a Muslim. And he came to me, he broke the fight up, and he asked me what's my name, and I said my name is Mutar, and he was like, are you Muslim? I said, yeah, I'm Muslim, this part of my life. Even though I could say I was Muslim because my parents was Muslim, but I had nothing about Islam. I had a couple uncles that was Muslim, but the only thing they truly taught us is that we don't eat pork. This is it. I knew nothing about Salah, I didn't know nothing about Islam, I didn't know nothing about the Prophet. So when he asked me, are you a Muslim, he said, where did you pray at? I said, I didn't pray. And then he said, well, how about you come to the masjid? We want to invite you to the masjid. And I remember when I walked into the masjid, I seen brotherhood that I didn't see in the streets, and I didn't see the type of brotherhood in the music industry. So that day, I remember something touched me, and I said, you know what? I need to learn more about this religion. I need to really find out this religion, man. So I said, I want to go home, and I'm going to watch Malcolm X, and I'm going to watch Malcolm X clearly this time. And when I went back and I watched Malcolm X, I started to see the things that I had doubts about and was curious about. And one of the things that, of course, we exposed the Nation of Islam. But all my years of watching Malcolm X, it seemed like that day I watched Malcolm X, it was truly clear to me what Islam was getting into, how they exposed the Nation of Islam, and that this was